But anyway, the 3 hour talk in between me and Tiffany. Um, First of all, I think I should lay out the fact that me and Jen were together when I started hanging out with Tiffany's brother. Tiffany decided to basically stalk me. At the time, I wasn't giving it that much attention. Um, didn't really care what she was doing, even though she kept popping up every time I would hang out with Dale or Tony. And I hung out with Dale a lot because I did a lot of work for him and his dad on their dump trucks, a couple other different things. Me and him, having fires and whatnot, which Jen was at one of those. And she wouldn't leave me alone because she thought I was doing things. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just hanging out with my buddy Dale. Well, why can't I go? I said, because Jasmine shouldn't be out there around that. Well, she shows up there with Jazz, with my stepbrother, which is a psycho and should not be driving my daughter anywhere. So, you know, I let them stay, showed them what we were doing. And of course, we were just goofing off, fucking around, doing dumb shit, um, doing stuff for his dad on the farm, fixing lawnmowers, fixing dump trucks, cleaning dump trucks, lining them up, shit like that. But anyway, Tiffany, me and Jen were already having problems. I guess that was music to Tiffany's ears. I thought she would understand that that meant she had no chance, but nope, she didn't take that statement that way. But yeah, Jen was jealous of Tiffany, even though Tiffany never got the time of day from me, and Jen knows that. Tony laughed because Tony knows how I was. We went to school together. I was the same way from then till now. Anyway, and Jen ended up leaving, going to my aunt's house where my cousin was, messing with him. And I ended up getting into a big argument with her cousin that because she was staying with her blind grandmother, and her cousin also lived on the property where her grandmother was, which I told him the whole reason why she wanted to go there was to take advantage of that woman. And he told me if I came on the property, because I was looking for my daughter, of course, that I wouldn't leave. So I said, well, I guess I'm not leaving because I'm almost there. And I showed up. That's the guy that put a shotgun to my chest and told me I had to leave the property. And I told him he had 3 seconds to use it or I'm going to make him wish he did. And he proceeded to run his mouth and press it into my chest. And that was a big mistake. Sorry about your knee, Brian. Hope you feel better. Yeah, we worked things out. He understood right away that Jen was lying and just trying to hide behind him. And Jen did exactly what I told Brian she was going to do. She swears up and down that my mom and my grandmother helped her to leave, and they didn't. They wanted her out of this house because she was so abusive to that child. I can't believe they let her leave with Jasmine. I was pissed about that because Jasmine was not safe. This woman never took care of that girl, ever, since the day she was born. She keeps trying to blame it on postpartum. No, that wasn't the only issue. Postpartum, on top of everything else that is wrong with you, was the issue. And she knows that. She's just hiding behind the postpartum because most women are forgiven, and that's still no excuse. What you did to that child is no excuse, and you're not going through postpartum that long after birth. Give me a break. 5 years after the child was born, you're still going through it? I don't think so. This is a girl that used to run her head into a door to get attention. She threatened one of her boyfriends with a knife and then proceeded to run her head into their front door of his parents' house until the cops came. And when she fed me this story, it was the opposite. She said that he did this and that his parents had to call the cops on him. And I was so pissed, I went to his house. It was right there in Elkton next to Holly Hall Elementary School. Yeah, that nice development right there. And I went to his house. I had her show me, and I knocked on his door, and I talked to his parents and him. And they showed me the police report, and it was the other way around. It was Jen that did all that. This is the same girl that snuck into my room after she had lied on me at her job, which was weird because we had just started dating. And you proceeded to come to my job and harass me. You even got my number from my friend and called me out of the blue. I didn't even know who the hell you were or how you got my number. I should have said no. Yeah, y'all are right. I was 18, 19. Yeah, you're right. I should have said no. But same thing with her is same mistake I made with Tip. Maybe this girl just really likes me and she's trying real hard. No, they were freaking psycho. And to cover their tracks, who did they try to make look like the bad guy? Me. Pretty funny. My ex girlfriend Yvonne was around me and Tiff tried to pull something crazy behind my back while I was at work. I was framing. And Yvonne told me when I come home, she's like, "Look, Tiff's trying to say some stuff about you." I said, "What?" She said, "She's trying to say that you abuse her and all that." And I said, "What?" And Yvonne's like, "Yeah, me and you dated for a while. You never abused me." I said, "No." I said, "You slapped me once because you thought I was messing around because was late coming home from Wendy's." She said, "Yeah." I said, "But I proved myself there." She said, "Yeah." And I'm sorry for that. I said, "Yeah, I know. I never hit you back. I grabbed your hands and said, 'Don't hit me.'" Yeah. These are the Bethany. I've never hit Bethany either. I never hit Jen either. They would start arguments. Yeah. I mean, Bethany would try to start arguments. It didn't really work too well. I just wouldn't argue with her. The only argument me and Bethany ever had was over the weight loss pills. That's the only argument me and her ever had, and over my brother. That was it. And I'm talking about disagreement argument, not, yelling match argument. And her sister Savannah was there for that. I never yelled at her. Bethany told me if I told her dad about the weight loss pills, we were done. And I said, "Well, we know you're pregnant, so yeah, I'm telling him because that's going to hurt that child and you. I'm 17, you're 16. Yeah, there's no reason why you should be taking those." And yeah, she knew she was pregnant. Yes, she did. She tries to tell everybody now that she didn't know. Yes, she did. Her mother is the one that talked her into trying to hurt the child because it was with me, and her mother didn't like me. Her mother didn't even know me. The only reason she didn't like me is because my mom was friends with her ex, which was Jerry, which was Bethany's dad. Yeah, that's the only reason. She's sitting here trying to tell people, "Oh, well, he's not a hard worker," when I'm working two jobs and going to school. The hell are you talking about? I'm working roofing. And I'm working at fast food, which was Fast Eddie's Pit Beef. Or I'm sorry, no, at that time it was Spready Oak. And then once the McDonald's opened, I swore to my mom that I was going to work at McDonald's when I was a kid, so I got a job there. And I still worked roofing. Yeah, I was like 14 or 15 when I did all that. That was when I first time I dated Bethany, which I didn't take that one too serious. I guess she did. But then when we met up again when I was 17 and she was 16, right after I broke up with Yvonne, um, well, it wasn't right after, it was a while after. And I dated a girl named Brandy in between, but oh, woo, woo, wow. That girl was nuts too. This is why I say I wish I had a GoPro. I know what people are thinking. Who the hell's this guy? How do we know? Right. But that should be the same for the other side. You don't know them either. I'm trying to tell you, but it's normally how it works. I tell people, they say, yeah, right. And then a while later, they're like, you were not kidding. Nope, I was not. But yeah, the 3 hour talk. Tiffany was young. I told her she was young. I told her that I only go after a serious relationship. I do not go after any type of Jerry Springer drama, bullcrap. I want somebody that knows what they want and wants to work towards the same thing. I don't want to mess with anybody that is young and wants to go out and be wild. They can go out and do that without messing with me. And she said that she had been grown, she'd been out on her own for a while, that blah, 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 everything that matched what I said. She just wanted what she wanted. At the time, I took her on her word because that's what you're supposed to do to see if you can trust people on their word. And I should have never done that. I was 20, she was 17 and a half. Yes, she was pushing it and she knew it. She was told. She did not care. Even being sexual, we were not sexual for the first 5 months we were together, and she pushed every day for that. Me and Jen broke up in February. Me and Tiffany started dating almost at the end of May. And that's because she pursued me every day up until that talk on May. It was actually May 20th, but because I didn't decide to say yeah until after 12 o'clock at night, which would make it the 21st, is what made it May 21st. But technically, she had asked me on May 20th, and it was just a weird timing because it was late on May 20th and early on May 21st that she actually got her answer. And 2 weeks later, she ended up in the hospital with a collapsed lung because she wouldn't listen to me. And she was doing things behind my back that I didn't know she was doing. Yep, I got her back up and running from that and safe and protected because her mom is, is an idiot. She lived with her brother and her mom. Her brother had an apartment right next to her mom's apartment. So she stayed with her brother most of the time and paid rent. She wanted to be emancipated from her mother. It was just a mess. I should have stayed away from it, but she manipulated, and yeah, I fell for the manipulation. Then her mother and her went to the town police and tried to get me for statutory rape after she was messing with a dude named Jake behind my back. Because me and her would not be active. Yeah. And of course, I should have left then and just said, nah, I don't need that anymore. But no, I was hurt. I missed Jazz. I didn't care about Jen being gone. I don't care about any of them being gone. Let's make that clear.